Module 6, Session 3, Water Security. The third session in this module focuses on water as a vital resource. Here, learners will be presented with the knowledge and skills related to the causes and effects of water pollution, water management, and conservation of how to achieve them. Here are the session's main concepts: water security, water management, water stress, water conservation. So keep an eye on these concepts as we go through the material. Let's start with water security. Having been presented with the knowledge related to food security, how would you define water security? Water security is the capacity of a population to safeguard sustainable access to adequate quantities of acceptable quality water. Let's share some water quality facts. 40% of the world are experiencing water scarcity. 2.4 billion people live without any form of sanitation. 90% of sewage in developing countries discharged untreated directly into water bodies. 2 million tons of sewage on a daily basis drain into the world's water. From 300 to 400 megatons of waste are produced by industrial discharges every year. Reuse of water waste in agriculture is important to the livelihood, but it's associated with so many health issues and risks. Water-related disasters account for about 70% of the deaths that take place related to natural disasters. Flooding is an example of natural disasters. Nestlé has partnered with local stakeholders in different locations, such as Buxton in the UK, to come up with practical natural interventions to help and prevent flooding. The aim is to help retain more water in the landscape so it doesn't rush into the river too rapidly during raining periods and then cause flooding. Another example that Nestlé has been doing is partnering with the Pakistani government. The aim is to support the local farmers on more sustainable practices that focuses on regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture refers to a holistic farming approach that focuses on restoring and enhancing the health of the ecosystems, particularly soil health, while producing food. By supporting farmers to switch to different irrigation methods, there were huge savings of over 60% of the water usage. With a focus on water, another key element is preserving the water from pollutants. In cases where the water is polluted, it results in disappearance of biodiversity and aquatic ecosystems. It actually harms the human beings as we alteration in food chain. Human contracting illnesses when drinking or using contaminated water. Unfortunately, the main source of water pollution are humans. Here are a few examples. The dumping of industrial waste, deforestation causes sediments and bacteria that appear under the soil, actually contaminate the groundwater. Pesticides that are used in agriculture, these actually also go through the underground channels and reach the consumption networks. Accidental oil spills. So let's look at the bright future. There are ways to preserve water through water resource management practices, which apply different risk management practices to avoid the flooding. Just an example. In your groups, think together of how we can come together with innovative ways for better water management. There are also water conservation practices and technologies, such as applying better irrigation practices, the use of saline water for irrigation, rainwater harvesting in areas that have rain by collecting the rainwater from roofs and storing it underground even for later. Let's go to the following activity. What activity do you do best related to water? Which activities do you consider necessary to meet your basic needs? What are the least 3 steps you can take to reduce the amount of water that you consume? What can your local community and national government do to improve water management? Let's talk about water from a different perspective, water and fashion. When you think about fashion, we often focus on trends and fabrics and brands, but we've never considered the connection between water and fabrics. From growing cotton to dyeing fabrics and even washing clothes, the fashion industry is one of the largest consumers of water globally. In fact, every single step in the production of clothes involves water, often in ways that aren't even visible to the consumers. Understanding the relationship between water and fashion opens up a fascinating but a concerning dialogue about how our clothing choices impact this precious resource. The fashion industry is not only a major water use, but it also contributes to water pollution through toxic dyes and chemical runoff. I'd like you to watch the next video related to the fashion's dirty secrets. How much water does it take to make your clothing? Here are a few questions I would like you to think about when standing in front of a retailer's shop. How many pairs of jeans do you own? How much water do you think each pair in your jeans actually requires to be manufactured? How much water does it take to make a pair of these blue jeans? What actions can you make to reduce the impact of your wardrobe on the quantity of water consumed? The video provides some interesting findings that can help you, as a consumer, support a more sustainable future for both the planet and our wardrobes. To conclude with this session, remember that we discuss the following main concepts: water security, water pollution, water conservation, and management. As we come to the end of this session, I'd like you to go back to the learning objectives, recap on the main concepts presented throughout the session, go through the material that are provided even with videos and readings to extend your knowledge even further. I'd like you on the individual level to write a reflection paper where you can highlight and share how you will be able to contribute to sustainable development as a proactive individual in your society while caring and catering for food and water.